Up in Queensland, it was the Gold Coast Suns, the Flack Trat Bullies at home, got the job done again, but wasn't without a scare. So the last quarter, you knew Collingwood had come at some point, and Nick Dacos, they didn't tag him. They almost paid the price. He was brilliant in this last quarter. So too was Jordan De Goey. Time and time again, Bobby Hill had shots at goal, and it looked like, again, a Collingwood masterclass, but the Suns held on.
Yeah, and I think with the Dacos one, so this is this unbelievable goal that he kicks here. They get away with the win here, so they'll go, OK, we got away with it and we won, and we probably made the right call not going with him. But you need to put a magnet actually near Nick Dacos. They didn't do that. Here's the Ben Long goal after Hewlin got through the Pendlebury tackle, and that one was essentially the sealer. So credit to Gold Coast for holding on, because most teams, when Collingwood come hard like that, they do capitulate. So it was a really resilient performance from a Gold Coast Suns side who don't lose at home, don't win away from home. So what have we learned about them and their genuine credentials? I'm not exactly sure, but you've got to give them the tick against good opposition who was storming home.
Kane, so Collingwood, like we all think, a lot of people think Sydney, Carlton, Collingwood are the big three at the moment, but are there concerns around Billy Frampton and his role?
Yeah, I reckon there is. He was absolutely torched by Ben King in the first half. King kicked 4 and all of these are on Frampton. So I just think they're one key defender short. There's no doubt about it. Jeremy Howley's well into his 30s. He was forced to go forward in the last quarter again. Darcy Moore disappoints me. I've got to be honest about Darcy Moore, the premiership skipper. Just the one intercept mark last night, so he wasn't there to be able to help Billy Frampton, who was so vulnerable and continually
Should have he played on King?
One-on-ones. I'd love to see that, Brownie. Like, well, why don't they put the magnet of the best defender, the captain, on the opposition's best forward? But they want him to be this interceptor, which he's not. So 11 touches for Darcy Moore. I reckon he plays one good game every 6. And I know that sounds harsh, but as a leader of this footy club...
That is harsh. That is harsh on a guy who is All-Australian.
Yeah, I just see it far too often. I see him to be too easy to play against Damo. I think at times he gets his timing wrong, and he just can't afford to have genuinely awful games like he did yesterday as a skipper of that club.
It's where Nathan Murphy's a huge loss, because Murphy was that player that allowed for Darcy Moore to play the way he wants to play, because he was such a tight defender.
Massive win for the Suns. It doesn't change the narrative though, does it? It's constantly there with them, and their ability or inability to win away from home. Does it do anything with the quality of opponent yesterday?
Well, they've got winnable games on the back half. So they play West Coast away, they play North away, they play Richmond, I think, in round 24. So they should just make finals from here. They have to. They've got such an easy draw. They had an easy draw at the start of the year, and now they're in a position to really, they shouldn't miss with the fixtures they've got coming up.
A couple of sore bodies out of this game. We'll take a look at a few of those players. Bo McCreery copped a knock to the leg, which forced him to leave the field and have ice applied to that right leg down low. We also had a situation where Braden Maynard, now he does play regularly hurt, so he was working his way through that particular situation. And then the Darcy Moore knee again copped an opponent, this time Jared Witts, who copped it in that sort of lung region, back region late in the game, and he's very sore.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. The Gold Coast Suns are only percentage out of the 8 at the moment, took on the Pies, and it was a scare late, but they got the job done.
Yeah, they got out to a 32-point lead at one stage, Brownie, and you knew Collingwood were going to come as they always did. King was excellent in the first half, I thought his contest was really strong. All their midfielders get a stack of it. They're a different proposition at home, those midfielders, than they are away from home, and Nick Dacos was the star. Thought Collingwood's ability to score from their back half early was important, but it was all about this man in the end, where you go, if you're not going to put anyone near him, and it doesn't have to be a tag, but I just thought there was some lack of respect, particularly late, where Gold Coast midfielders went one way and they allowed Nick to go the other way.
Have you ever seen a player influence a game and outcomes of games more? Like, he almost won this for them. They didn't win ultimately, but has there been a player that influences more?
This goal, I think he's, the Bont won and Dacos in equal probably, because this goal there was amazing.
Done it in a grand final too, Brownie, to your point.
It's his third year. Like, we often forget how young he was, but I would just send a message to anyone that plays against Collingwood, at least pay him some respect, otherwise he'll almost single-handedly win the game for you.
So the Suns, like, everyone's talking about it's a broken record with them, but did you see anything different there yesterday? Why is it that they can't jump on a plane?
I thought that they welcomed Collingwood's pressure. So Collingwood, high-pressure side, we're going to handball through the pressure, which is not usually the tactic that you would do. It invites that pressure, but plus 59 handball received. So that was their method to try and get through. And when they did get through, they got through successfully. I'd love for them to sharpen up a little bit defensively and shut down Collingwood's transition. But competitive around the ball. They've got a forward line that is working now, a back line that is pretty rock solid, but there's still some players in the lineup that you're not quite going to trust in big games away from home.
And do you think Collingwood, my opinion is, do they rely on too few? So,
De Goey was
yeah,
good.
De Goey was good. Nick Dacos, I think if Dacos went out of this side, obviously he's the best player in the comp, so he's going to make a big difference.
Can they still win the flag, Collingwood?
Yeah, I think they can, because I don't think there's many great sides there. I think Collingwood, Carlton and Sydney, to me, look the obvious. But I think they're still off a little bit, though, Collingwood. They're like Sydney. They just play in fits and spurts a little bit too much. There's not enough consistency about them.
Votes?
Let's look at the votes, Brownie, because Nick Dacos, I thought, was the best player on the ground, despite the fact that he was in a losing side. Anderson gets a stack of it, 38 yesterday. Miller was good after a poor week last week, and I thought Jordan De Goey, 11 score involvements, was Collingwood's second best.